Game number 1 of day 2 of the Huya Super League. $8,600 on the line. And, whoops, that is not, not the right one. There we go. Picks and bans. So WFZ picks Concealed. Sock picks Northern Isles. Terranas out. Echo Isles out. Twisted and Last Refuge out as well. So we start on Amazonia. And then CH and Northern Isles. Pretty much the norm, right?
Yeah, LR here, the ban from Sock, is somewhat surprising. Sock normally always a fast expanding player. And LR, one of the easier maps, he leaves in Concealed, which is a bit of a fast expansion nightmare. Concealed, a good map if you play the Hawk style of one base tier 3. But that's normally not his style. So that does surprise me a little, but, you know, personal preference, perhaps.
How do I get rid of these things flying through the screen, by the way?
From what I know, you can't.
Huh. Nice. Okay. I was looking through the settings, but we blocked the chat. We blocked as much as possible. So yeah, sorry about that. Sock vs WFZ. Going into this matchup, I would think that Sock is the favorite by far.
Big favorite. Sock is possibly the best with TH human versus undead player in the world right now.
What about Romantic?
Well, he's the best tank player in the world. But if you want to play something other than tanks, Sock is like the guy the one human who can take like 50% off of maps of Happy, which is like insane.
Yeah.
So I think Sock is insanely good here in this matchup, and just in general, a really strong player. I think this is going to be a really good year for Sock as well, just on a side note. And WFZ, well, there's one thing going for WFZ, and that is that this is an online tournament. So he might be doing better than we expect, but it's been a while since he impressed me, impressed us. I think Sock is going into this as the big favorite.
I agree. Speaking of Sock, by the way, he still wears the Winners clan tag, even though he's not part of Winners anymore. The clan disbanded on December 31st. So Sock is clanless. And
he's going to get picked up really soon.
I would love Newbie to pick him.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Like, Newbie needs a human player. He's the best human free agent out there. It makes so much sense on paper. There's a Korean there already with Lolite who has history with him. It seems like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. The brotherhood between Sock and Lolite is pretty strong. I think when Lolite was in China for some tournament, and Sock wasn't, I don't remember what it was, but like Sock was picking him up from the airport just to welcome him back to Korea. I think it was after this long time where Lolite was boot camping in Shanghai in the Newbie team house, and he was pretty much alone there because 120 was practicing from home, Lin was practicing from home, and he was, of course, alongside the other Newbie players from other games. But yeah, that's Sock and Lolite. Big friendship right there.
Questions also, where are the other players gonna go? Chimiko, certainly also a hot free agent. Fov, is he gonna play? That's also gonna be an interesting.
He was pretty much a team manager anyway, right? Like he has a job, full-time job, and
who played in some competitions, but not to the greatest success. This is going to be really interesting this year as well to see who comes out of retirement, who's going to start playing again. We already heard quite a few rumblings in Europe. X-Lord's coming back.
Yes.
Vortex perhaps coming back, if we can trust his Twitter.
Yeah.
And I imagine quite a few others as well.
Who would you love to see back?
Raptor Leon.
Oh, I think he's busy. He's busy doing theater and model jobs.
Oh, right, you told me once. Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our game starts. We finally go to Amazonia. We see the countdown on stream, so let's go. Okay, Kiaolin has his camera in the bottom right.
He's going to change it in a second.
Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay, you are the expert, Remo. Sorry for doubting you. We have restream here, so unfortunately no game sounds and no overlay. We're not allowed to join the games directly, but okay. a restream it is then to have a little bit of in-game content. Sock in the bottom left for Korea, WFZ in the upper right for China, who's advancing into the round of 8 in the Huya Super League, the tournament for $8,600.
Starting off on Amazonia, that is normally considered one of the tougher human maps, perhaps. Not so easy of an expansion. Easy for the undead to push, and to make matters worse in the late game, not even too many creeps are left, because Sock is a very strong player, of course, but he's normally also pretty predictable. As I said earlier, he normally always plays the fast expansion. Can think back to when he played something else. I guess, to be fair, almost every human from Asia does that nowadays. In Europe, the one-base tier 3 playstyle is still somewhat popular, with some players, even the Pally rifle style, but not on NetEase. Everyone has gone back to fast expansion, and has, in my opinion, been getting stronger at holding these expansions against pushes from undeads. Let's just think back to about half a year ago. Well, a little bit more, I guess, 7-8 months ago, when Happy played against the fast expanding humans and just destroyed them one after the next, and it seemed like it wasn't even close. It felt like once Happy had 1 statue and 4 fiends, humans would just die. There was just nothing they could do anymore. But they have improved. Macro and decision making has improved. High footy numbers, solid defense, and buying time for tier 3. That seems to be the playstyle. However, I think the interesting player here between the two, as far as playstyle is concerned, isn't going to be Sock, but rather WFZ. Because WFZ is one of the few top undeads who actually likes counter-expanding. So this may very well turn out to be a 2-base game.
Huh. Even on AZ, do you have the time to do that? It takes some time until you have the necessary force to creep the natural expansion with the slow and the rock golem. I know he does it on other maps, but here...
If he gets 240 supply, 50, very easy to creep, very easy to hold. Question is if it's going to be too late after the human. WZ starting off with a standard creep, which you pretty much always see nowadays at the troll camp. Oh, he pulled out one of the trolls with the acolyte, so he took less damage, but that means that he couldn't kill the third of the trolls. So actually the DK doesn't have as much experience. Normally when you finish this camp, you need 40 more XP for the level up, which means 1 footy or 2 peasants, but he didn't get that. So questionable choice here by him to leave this one troll, left after the camp. So now WZ has to say, okay, I'm going to go to the next troll camp, take more damage there, and with him taking more damage there, that means that he probably really can't do much against the fast expansion that's coming here from Sock.
Yeah, very late level 2 as well. He had to walk across the entire map, which is suboptimal, I guess, but he gets it now. Sock with that little harass at the bottom right creep spot, a later expansion for him as well. So I wonder how this will line up. The first Fiend is coming for WFZ after a 3 ghoul tech. And easy level 3 for Sock so far. Smooth sailing, everything a little delayed, but should be fine. Thank you, by the way, Knutsphone for the Prime sub, Herr Wusel, Desert Drake, Dave Boy, and Money to Black, and Side, and Le Crestfallen as well.
Thank you guys all very much. So we have Sock making more peasants, footies, farms. Peasants, footies, farms. Peasant, footies, farms. This is basically your checklist for the early game. WZ is coming over to the expansion. At least one peasant should be an easy kill. Sock wasn't scouting for this. I like when humans split off one of their footies to scout for an assault such as this coming in. So this is going to cost at the very least 2 peasants, more likely 3. And this is perhaps the first mistake of the game by Sock letting this so easily occur. And this is already quite the delay of the expansion. Sock got an easy early game, even prevented the DK's leveling for a little bit, got level 3 super fast, but then became a little bit careless and loses now peasant number 5, I think it is. Oh, that's actually a nice save. Well done. But probably going to die in the end. And that's an expansion delay that was really, really unnecessary. A little bit too greedy there by Sock, deciding to go for the middle camp to the kobolds, despite being level 3 already and exposing himself at the expansion like he did.
Interesting creep by WFZ here, pulling out the laboratory. I haven't seen this before. I mean, it helps since the tower is attacking as well, but no lightning shield. and it all takes a little longer. What's the purpose of this?
I think just to take less damage. The creeps walk towards you, they walk back again with the slow tower. They get slowed, obviously. But the DK gets good experience here, gets easy level 3. That's always the case on AZ. No matter what race you are, no matter what your game plan is, level 3 is always super easy. So there we go. DK hits that level up, level 2 coil now, quite a bit of damage. But the AM also crept very well. So he exposed himself pretty heavily at the expansion with greedily creeping. But if AM gets level 4 early, that helps a ton in the expansion defense. So an understandable play for Sok to go for as well, because if you get level 4, you basically have unlimited water elementals. You can summon them one after the next, especially if you have clarities as well. And with that, should be able to hold off against a couple of fiends pretty well. Speaking of fiends, only 2 fiends.
Yeah.
Normally we see the push beginning in earnest with 3 fiends plus Lich, then a 4th fiend comes in, and then a statue, and then Undead becomes really strong. But this is all taking quite a while. This is a very fast tech, I think, by WFZ at 28 supply, which is very European. Normally, in Asia, the Chinese always decided to tech later, going for 36 supply, something like that, trying to get to this 4 fiends plus 1 or 2 statues as quick as possible, because that's a big power spike. But perhaps here WFZ influenced by Happy, who has always been favoring a faster tech route.
I was about to say that. Happy, of course, a teammate of WFZ. They spent quite some time together before Christmas for the gold finals. So maybe he learned a bit from the Russian Emperor. 2 footies down, but he's got to be careful with that DK. Almost surrounded, wiggling through this surround attempt. This is quite a few footmen, but I'm not sure if he has defend yet. Doesn't seem like it. Next Nova hits. Focus fire is pretty strong, even though it's only 3 fiends. And another kill for WFC. And here comes the statue. But this fiend is... Oh no! Sok can't get the surrounds done.
I feel sometimes human players are trying to be too flashy. Like, if you get the surround, that's great, but if you don't get it, you're just wasting a lot of time doing absolutely no damage with these footies, when you could just have them on A-click. Turn on defend, A-click, and then push the undead back and buy more and more time. However, he's not really getting punished for these micro mistakes, because there's just not enough firepower here for WFZ to kill off all of these footies quickly. Finally gets the surround. There we go. And that's going to be a fiend kill here. Is WFZ going to invest the coil? That looks like a waste of mana. Saves the other fiend with that instead. And so far, Sok is pretty easily pushing WFZ back, even without defend. That's not normally the way this looks.
And another fiend is hurt. It's only 3 of them. Footy numbers are good. Maybe Sok can even dive later. We'll see. Thank you very much, So Richtig Sahne, for the €3 donation. First of the day. Thank you. Sok is... What's he going for? I thought for a second maybe Zeppelin and then drop onto the Haunted. But not happening here. So it's another kill, but that's the last bit of mana. 1 coil remaining. And there's an Acolyte. A 6th one.
I think that's the Scouting Acolyte still alive from the early game.
Ah, okay.
Sok is teching to tier 3 with a Sanctum. This is pretty much the standard nowadays. You tech to tier 3 quickly, but add in a few breakers. Because you need breakers in the late game anyways to battle the curse from the Banshees. MK comes in, easy Stormbolts around. That should be a kill. 2 fiends killed already. Like, losing 1 fiend is acceptable, but 2 fiends, that hurts. He certainly can't afford to lose a 3rd one. Oh, is that another surround?
Looks like it,
looks like it is. Oh, Sok is destroying WFZ right now.
Yeah. Statue's out of the fight as well. Has no... Like, he could morph it to a destroyer soon and then coil, but guess what? There's no mana. And he just gets kill after kill. Wow. This is fiends. They're not supposed to die like this. Even sniping this statue, there is repair. Needs 2 Acolytes to repair.
Yeah, Sok is showing how strong he is in this matchup. As we mentioned earlier, he's one of the few humans who can put up a fight against Happy. And WFZ is not having a flawless day today by any means. And is getting pretty much manhandled so far.
1 destroyer is up. Nice by Sok that this Water Elemental is still harassing and scouting, so he knows there's no fancy attack coming in, but where should he attack? The expansion is so safe. The main is a castle now, so with this little force that WFZ has, there's nothing to do for him right now. Orb is out, so okay, he gets a footman here and there, but Sok is just gearing up for the mighty tier 3, and this will destroy the undead.
And this wasn't even a perfect game. Like earlier, 4 or 5 peasants were killed at the expansion. This was a big delay, and still Sok is absolutely destroying this game.
Ooh, double workshop. So far for Gyros.
Oh,
another happy
third.
Yeah, another hippie, happy influenced decision, I think.
But that only works when you have a strong ground army and you can really pressure the expansion. With only 2 fiends, that's not gonna do so much. But okay, we'll see how it goes. Sok coming in for the creep jack. MK looking for the Stormbolt kill target. Gyros are in, but there is web as well. So there is a way to control these flying units meant to counter the destroyers, of course. Breakers are in as well. But Sok doesn't need to commit too much here. He just wants to slow down the creeping as much as he can and waiting for the Paladin, waiting for the Knights. And then finally Sok can look forward to his own power spike.
Yeah, he's just waiting for maybe even Knights. I'm kind of surprised that he goes for Breakers even. Just to be more safe and have something on the ground. That's gonna be... Okay, Knights now. For more damage against Fiends. And the Sim City is pretty good. So even with Nova and Rain of Fire, what can he really do? Is it even Rain of Fire? We don't see it yet.
I think so. Yeah,
there we go.
Rain of Fire coming in range of the Arcane. So he's getting burned right now. Oh, big Nova though.
Yep, that was good. And the Arcane is gone. That helps for sure. No web on these Gyros. You shouldn't allow Sok to get them a critical mass. But okay. Almost in fighting shape. The Paladin is out as well. Hero levels shouldn't be too big for him though, right? Mountain King level 2, I guess?
Yeah, MK2, Pally 1, AM is 4 though, that's pretty good.
MK1 even. He has pretty much no experience.
I think Sok, he's engaging a little bit too early. Like, he can just stand back. This expansion still has a lot of health remaining. He can wait for more production. If you just
56 now.
No masonry though, so this is taking quite a bit of damage after all. Yeah, this push by WZ is doing quite a bit more damage than I was expecting, honestly.
0 experience on the Paladin, as you can see. Expo at 50%. Here we go with a Shredder, with Knights, Sundering Blades, and Militia. So, is Sok overwhelming WFZ now and end this push? And then get even more Echo advantage? Almost running into the red spot. Attempting a surround on the Pit Lord. What the hell? He just walked into a trap.
Oh, and Sok wakes up the creeps. Yep. Really cool play. The golems come out and WFZ sees, uh-oh, I better get out of here. But the level 2 aura helps out quite a bit. The Lich dodges the Stormbolt with the invul. That was well done. Shredder getting taken out. No more lumber, immense amounts for Sok with that. Gyros are in, but not too many. Only 3 of them. But Fiends also starting to drop low. Both players here suffering quite a few losses, but of course Sok can afford them more and finds a surround on the Lich with the Stormbolt right there. WZ needs to transfer the TP. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. Ooh, last second coil saves the Lich, so he killed the Pally. So he got out of that one, but another Stormbolt.
And a Holy Light, and he finishes that Lich. Coil wasn't ready, uses on the Fiend now, and with the Orb of Destruction gone, Orb of Corruption gone, there's no real way. Wasn't that way too obvious? Like, this play by Sok, waking up the creeps, was nice, but you could have seen it miles and miles ahead.
Yeah, I don't know why WFZ ran to that little corner. He just needed to go up. The Militia duration was pretty close to being done. But good hold here by Sok. He steals the invul away from the shop, which was a big mistake by WFZ. You need to have at least 1 invul in your army.
He had
one. You want to have that on the Lich, of course. And that was the big push by WFZ that was halted. From here on, it just gets better for Sok.
Okay, red spot now. Level's getting better. Stormbolt is getting better. What's the item? We didn't see it. Okay, it's still on the Granite Golem. What can WFC do now? He's constantly forced to stay at no upkeep. At one point, he's not able to fight this human force anymore.
Yeah, MK now level 3, and the cloak is not bad at all. Big supply lead at this point for Sok, and the hero levels aren't even looking too bad. That was the big advantage for the Undead, as it always is the case in this matchup pretty much. Lich came back from the tavern, so no mana. But MK also pretty low HP, so he has to be careful as well. However, tons of mana for the Mountain King. This time not aiming for the Lich first, but for the Fiends rather. Coil comes in, but healing reduced thanks to that Orb of Fire. More Destroyers being morphed can be pretty effective. Not too many gyros left. Only 2 gyros actually. Getting webbed here as well, but so much damage coming in from the Knights and the Heroes. One Fiend dies. The next Fiend about to die as well. WZ's forces dwindling. The A-bombs are still standing, but they're not really dealing much damage. They don't even have Disease Cloud. Sock at this point easily pushing WFZ back.
Yeah, it's just... I think he can win with A-Click right now. Of course he's not doing it. Knight's under attack, but there should be a Holy Light if he's willing to do so. Oh, even the Staff. Free healing. And the DK is being forced into a TP. Yep, there we go. Lich, is there another Stormbolt for him? It's gonna be close. Okay, good movement by WFZ here, dodging this. But yeah, this is very, very one-sided at this point. Hero level advantage is on the human side. Echo advantage is on the human side. WFZ needs kind of a miracle. Needs a nuke on the Paladin, which is so hard to do.
Yeah, this is looking really good now for Sock. He has survived the toughest stage of his strategy. He's fast expanding, he's going tier 3, that is all pretty greedy. But if you survive, if you finally get the levels and finally get to 70 supply, then you become really strong. And he's at that stage. Sock is now really strong, and thanks to his outstanding play in the early, he did survive the earlier stages, and has honestly so far been outplaying WFZ pretty hard. Only thing he's still lacking is levels on the Pally. He's solo creeping him at the Merc Camp right now, getting level 2. That's already really nice for the Divine Shield. If he gets to 3, this is a dream scenario for Sock.
He's creeping and harassing at the same time, walking into a little trap, but can't get the block or surround done. Archmage level 5. Paladin finds Devotion Aura, which is super nice to have. A third skill that he didn't want to waste a point into, he gets now as an item.
Okay, I think it's actually his skill. I think he had that before he picked up the item.
Really? I don't think so.
I may have seen that wrong, but regardless, it is certainly still looking very good for Sock. If he solo creeps the Merchant, perhaps that is even level 3 for the Pally. Red Camp for WFZ is at least something. He needs something big. He needs a Khadgar's Pipe. He needs kind of 2 items from this camp, to be honest.
What consumable did he get? Oh, greater healing. Okay, with a big mana, maybe a fight can swing into his direction. It's so many knights now. Oh my god. And gyros as well. This army of WFZ looking so small. Lich in trouble. Coil is there. Was there no Orb of Fire? Or the Coil is just level 3 and very strong. Decent stutter stepping from the Fiends, but now they're in range and they are both about to die. And then what to do against the gyros? The Destroyer is from 3 units about to die. That's like 11 supply just vanishing for WFZ.
Yeah, we really are in an A-click stage at this point.
Yeah.
This game is pretty much over. More and more kills. Only the heroes and the destroyers are left, and these heroes are not strong enough. The human heroes are very strong themselves at this point. Pitlord looking mighty exposed. Stormbolt, Surround, Holy Light would finish the job, not even required. And that is game.
Yeah, it's what it's left. 36 supply. At one point, Xiaolin must click on the Paladin, otherwise we'll never solve... Ah, you were right, Remo. It is actually Devotion Aura. That's how safe Sock feels. Like, even with Coil Nova, you can't threaten my most exposed hero at all.
Yeah, sign of confidence as well. If you want to play it safe, you go for Divine Shield, but he's like, I don't need it.
And now Red Spot, of course, for him as well. Sends the Archmage away. So not getting lazy in the later stages. 2 red spots is a game breaker.
4 Pally? What the hell?
And Warsong Battle Drums. When it rains, it pours, Wufazen.
Yeah, this game is unwinnable. Maybe WFZ sees some possibility here. He's a more optimistic man than I am. Maybe he's thinking about the next map.
Oh, yesterday, guys, the games, they were so quick. Please add some length to it for the broadcast.
Every Stormbolt on a unit should lead to a kill here, pretty much.
Yeah. For heroes, it's a little different, but in general, on units, you're right. There we go. The Sundering Blades are so strong at this point. Lich is surrounded, and he can throw all the coils in the world, but there's no mana, and so the Lich dies. GG by WFZ, and Sock, after 20 minutes, convincingly takes map 1.
Yeah, that was super strong, man. There was this one mistake of him not scouting for the Fiend run by and then losing all these peasants at the expansion. And that did hurt. But other than that, that was basically perfect play. That was just super, super solid. Sock, in my opinion, the strongest Huya in this matchup nowadays. It's hard to tell because we haven't seen TH in a while. We saw him at WGL, but they're happy defeated him. Sock, super, super strong, making a great advertisement for himself for any team. Any team would be lucky to have this guy currently.
Yeah. Free agent Sock. He is pretty much next to Moon and maybe Foggy, the hottest free agent on the market. By the way, did you see the announcement by Oceanus today?
I did.
Oh, yeah. They changed up the lineup quite drastically, I would say. No one and enter, no side, no Shocky anymore. But Please and Death Note added to the roster alongside Spiral and Neutron.
Yeah. Kicking all the undeads out. That pains me. Yeah, Death Note has been making quite a name for himself recently.
Yes.
Has been getting better and better. And Please, kind of out of nowhere. He's always been a ladder player, but most recently has been playing in some tournaments as well. And is going to have a chance to prove himself on a bigger stage.
Yeah, very happy for Death Note. He was also casting with Todd, right? I didn't see it, I just read it.
Yep.
Cool to have a Russian exposing his English to a broader audience. The others not really willing to do so, so double thumbs up for Death Note for his shape, for his interaction with the community. Good guy.
And it says technically he never was in Oceanus, he just played the season there. Okay.
Yeah, I hope you guys find a nice new home soon. There's quite some interesting talks going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, I imagine with this ESL announcement, quite a few teams must be getting interested.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of sponsor exposure, and the nice thing is, Warcraft players come cheap. They come really cheap.
Yes. At least for now. But yeah, it's interesting times. Like, between the seasons at football, you know, when it's all about which player is going to be transferred. Yeah, exactly, the roster shuffle. We haven't had this pretty much ever since WC3L broke down. So having all the rumors and getting some insights here and there, that's really cool. Adds even more to the scene.
Yeah. I wonder what teams are going to get involved.
I heard some
Does
some
alternate
names.
still exist? Is that still a thing?
Alternate? I think so. Team alternate.
Alternate attacks.
Oh yeah.
They do still have a
Oh, they
homepage.
rebranded to Attacks again. Yeah, they did.
So what teams do they have? Probably like
CS:GO
FIFA and
and
CS:GO.
FIFA.
Okay.
Time to pick up some Warcraft again. Remo should join a team. Remo's already at Raptor Gaming.
After gaming.
How long is your
Hell yeah.
contract there, Remo?
Well, mine is indefinite. I can stay however long I want now.
I heard that you want to play the Rising Star Cup tomorrow.
Yeah.
Since we're not casting.
Mm-hmm.
Kaldor is casting the 6th episode of our beloved Rising Star Cup. You can sign up now. !Rising, and you will be directed to the sign up page over at Challenge.
How many signups do we have?
We only opened it yesterday, so I imagine it's not too many.
29. Okay.
It's okay.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
But we, by the way, release some highlight videos every week about the Rising Star Cups, and we changed it up a little. Usually we had like no real narrative. Now we have the top 5 plays released yesterday evening.
Like in the 90s, boys.
Like in the
Back to the top
People
5.
love the countdowns, man. People love the countdowns, and yeah, we already have a lot more views on that video, and I don't want to spoil too much, but that spiral play on Northern Isles.
That was so good, dude. Oh.
Spiral is so good, yeah. So good is also that we have another game. Number 2, Sock with the lead. We are on Concealed Hill now. WFZ in orange in the upper right. Sock, match points, could advance to the round of 8 if he wins this one as well in the bottom left.
Amazonia, the first map was victorious for Sock. He played his standard style, the fast expansion, and well, that has been pretty successful for him. So, understandably so. I mentioned earlier in the picks and bans that it kind of surprises me that Sock prefers to leave this map in the pool over LR because, again, of his fast expansion style. This can be a really tough map to fast expand. The expansion is not easy to take by any means. The DK can easily last hit steal with the coil, which is not possible against the Rock Golem, who is magic immune. And to make matters worse, there is double poison creeps at the expansion. And if you want to throw in a kicker, there's also a fountain where the DK, after having taken damage, can go back to and heal up. So this all amounts to a really tough fast expansion map for Sock, or for any human. So I really wonder why Sock has in the pool. Maybe he has a good reason, maybe it's just personal preference. I know that personally myself, Neo. For example, for quite a few undeads like Twisted Meadows. I hate Twisted Meadows. I have that map vetoed for the last 1.5 years because I have PTSD from Trees of Life frickin' everywhere springing up and a Beastmaster standing in my main and casting Stampede. Never again.
Did you play against Moon? That sounds like something Moon would do on that map.
No, it was not Moon. It was not Moon.
Yeah, WFZ is also one of those players who had this one preferred map that everyone else was vetoing, with of course that map being Terranos Stand. But not anymore, as it seems. So, Sock not going for the laboratory. WFZ, where's he moving? He's not creeping at all. Now for the turtles.
He's going to the green. Why is he doing the green? Isn't the green just a worse ogre camp?
I agree.
What?
Or does he, like, more skeletons to creep something else? I don't know, man.
And he's so far away from the expansion now. Like,
yeah.
On AZ, I can kind of forgive not harassing expansion because you can't steal the Rock Golem. Normally, human can creep it pretty safely. Human gets level 3 regardless. And you can creep really well to level 3 on AZ if you creep instead of harass. But on this map, you should really harass.
Ooh, sweet surround by WFZ, though. Taking out...
coil the skeleton? Or...
Oh, you can just coil the footman.
Okay, that was nicely done.
Yeah.
But that's a footman life sacrificed, well worth it, because the expansion is coming, and WFZ can do absolutely nothing about it. And why? Because he's on the other side of the map. He just continues creeping, now goes to the ogre camp.
Yeah, usually WFZ has some cool creep ideas. Like, you have your special Remo creep routes, and WFZ has, especially on, like, Echo Isles, very interesting creeps as well. I wonder if that leads up to something, because I feel like it has to.
Oh, look at Sockman. All the peasants are damaged, two footies are half dead.
And he's not there.
And he's like, "Ooh, nice, you're not harassing me. This is great." Well, if undeads play like this, I would also play Concealed if I was human.
Maybe he knew that this is just WFZ's style.
WZ at least got 2 really good items, plus 5 intelligence. It's all about mana for the undead. And now he's coming across the map for harass. AM this time scouting really well, doesn't want to get harassed and lose so many peasants at the expansion like he did on map 1. Footies in the meantime have healed up at the fountain. And I think AM is level 3.
Yeah, so many footmen as well. Like, yeah, the downside is the big poison, but WFZ missed the timing to punish that. And now it's again only some peasants. But how can he really threaten them? It's 3 skeletons, it's a bunch of coils. Oh, dodges the coil into the gold mine! Ouch!
Yeah, and this expansion is really quickly done. some more peasants might be dying, but especially painful are these peasant losses if the expansion isn't done yet. And the DK gets surrounded.
Oh my god. WFZ is just getting owned here.
Yeah, Sock is seriously outclassing WFZ.
That was so simple. What a disaster for the Chinese. Oh my.
Yeah, WFZ, honestly, maybe a little too early to tell, and maybe a little bit harsh, but that's my casting style, isn't it? Not so much looking like the third best on it in the world right now.
Who would it be then?
That's a good question.
Definitely a European, right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Sheik, maybe? Well, if X-Lord keeps on practicing for 3 weeks, then it's gonna be him.
Yeah. Like,
I'm serious.
Yeah, me too. Like, it's so unfair how talented he is. So, Staff into the back, going for the Acolytes. That prevents the tier 3 tech. And it's still a bunch of footmen who are, of course, disposable at this point. Ghoul falls, DK far away.
This is such a good punish of this tier 2 counter expo. I don't think Sock is aware that this is the strat that WC is going for. It's just kind of fortunately working out, but this is so good. This is so good. He's got defend as well. Buying a lot of time, forcing a lot of repair. A lot of mining time lost. And Sock, this is such an easy macro game for him. He doesn't not really losing peasants. Doesn't have to worry about keeping his base safe. He's just macroing up behind and being disruptive as much as he can.
There's another Water Elemental if he wants to. Now Coil Nova is available, but I think that's not even enough to get this Archmage out. Triple Water Elemental! So much damage!
Is he level 4? He's not, right? He was just saving up mana.
Yeah.
This is so good by Sock. Oh boy! But WFZ has an expansion coming up, and that one is not getting cancelled. So it's by no means over. But WFZ's tech is going to be really late. And normally in this matchup, Undead claims map control somewhat early thanks to the fast tech and thanks to higher levels. Neither of which is going to be the case. Is the staff off cooldown again? He's been in this back here for more than 90 seconds. He can just staff out now if he wants.
And he does. How are you supposed to come back from this? That was so easy. Yes, the counter expansion is up, so he's not losing too much gold in general. But the tech timing. 60% on the tier 2 tech of Sock, and we didn't even start tier 3 yet.
And this is where losing the 2 ghouls really hurts. He's remaking the ghouls now, but now he's only at 2. You need at least 3 for any kind of serious tier 3 tech, and on 2 bases, you more need like 5 ghouls. Which, if he wants to make all of those, it's going to be very expensive. Sock's tech looks like it was kind of late as well. He's still not tier 2, but he bought more than enough time for himself that should be no problem.
All right. Can he even... Oh, he's just doing it again. Oh, sweet. Not too much mana this time. Staff is off cooldown as well, but good amount of footies, and again preventing the tier 3 tech. This is just so smart.
Sock's gonna have a tech lead here in a moment, which is never supposed to happen.
Boy, if he kills that shop, no statues, no destroyers. But okay, he's going for Acolytes again.
Quite a few footmen have been sacrificed into this main, to be honest. Earlier it was already about 6, and I'm pretty sure all these footmen are also gonna die. But they're buying a lot of time.
Yeah.
Which is their job.
Nova is ready, but nice splits by Sock. So Nova would get at max 2 of the footmen. Like, even in this retreat, even when he knows most likely all of them die, but he buys even more time by splitting them properly. And he even saves a lot.
But can't really cancel or kill anything. It's only the AM. But he was checking things out, was taking a look at what was going on. Double Griffin Aviary.
Okay.
Oh, I don't like that. I have seen many humans throw many big leads away by thinking, oh, I'm so far ahead, I'm just going to build griffins. And then they fight against 9 fiends and all the griffins die. And then the game swings around.
Nice to see something different, though. No knights, gyros, no tanks. You know, Griffin Avery plays are quite rare in the scene, so let's enjoy it.
If he doesn't have a Sanctum, right?
Nope.
Like, Banshee Fiend is like the perfect army against. It's so much better.
Anti-magic, curse, web. I wouldn't even need tier 3. I mean, for the orb and third hero, but that's about it.
This is quite risky by Sock, honestly. If he goes for a timing push with the Griffins and it fails, which it might, this game could absolutely swing around. He's making Dragonhawks. Don't tell me he's playing Mass Dragonhawks. You're not playing against human, buddy. You can't against Night Elf, excuse me. You can't play Mass Dragonhawks. Oh, Zeppelin?
Nice.
Is there web?
Nope, there isn't. He should definitely go for it now. He will have it for the Dragonhawks and the Griffins. There we go. It's a fast upgrade, so he's gonna have it real quick. Yeah, the Dragonhawks are pretty much bad against everything.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, usually they are anti-air, but against destroyers the shackles don't work, so...
It can be nice for base run-bys to disable towers with Cloud.
Yeah, that's true. And there we go.
There's Cloud.
Yeah, I guess that's the only purpose, then. But he's gonna switch to Griffins real soon.
I'm pretty worried here for Sock suddenly, I have to say.
Don't you have faith?
He's a great player, absolutely, but, you know, even the greatest players have a tough time when they fight against scissors with paper.
I guess it depends how often you fold the paper. I like that he has a Fiend here. It's not using the web on the Dragonhawk, but waits for the Zeppelin, so that's cool. 1,600 gold, by the way, on the Undead.
Yeah, Lumber an issue kind of for both players here. Sock over and over looking for a bit of economy harass rather than creeping. Because he can't, I guess the idea is because he can't creep heavily anyways, because he doesn't have an army, really. He's still waiting for the Griffins. Forces the TP back now. Oh, this is dangerous. If the round is closed, some heroes could be dying here.
He's trying to block every single pixel. Will it work? Yep! Kills the Mountain King with it. Coil Nova! Oh my! 12
Dude,
HP!
the balls on Sock that he didn't double-click TP.
Yep!
What
he didn't TP at all. He used the staff.
Yeah.
No TP at all.
You have so much gold and you still don't TP.
13 HP left. Calculated. So yeah, you might be right that this Griffin Aviary play and the risky, entertaining playstyle of Sock is opening up an opportunity for the Undead, but we don't see a Temple of the Dead. Oh, there is. And a Dreadlord.
Dreadlord. Huh. Sleep is always good, if properly used, against Paladin especially. And if he gets to high levels, Carrion is also pretty good against air.
Yeah.
But not very reliable to achieve.
And the levels for Sock are pretty weak. Like, level 1 Mountain King, level 2 Paladin, no Banish, with the lack of a Blood Mage, of course. The first open fight at the fountain. Web is coming in. Ooh, the nuke on the Fiend is pretty good, though. Snipes the stat use. I love that play. So simple, but yet so effective.
It looks like WZ's army isn't quite big enough here. Only 3 Fiends. One more is gonna die. Oh, but double crit Fiend production. Look at all these Fiends coming in from the main. That may swing things around. Finally, Anti-Magic is starting to come in, but also Banshee numbers rather low. More and more sleeps flying in as well. All the Griffins are web pretty much. Quite a few have died already, but both players are losing quite a few units. Who does that favor? Hard to tell. Nice burrows coming in as well. There's no dust here, as it seems. WC is going to say sayonara as his mana was running out and he had no more coils to work with. But there was a pretty even fight between the two, I guess.
I would give the edge to Sock still. Like, a lot of fiends died, and you need a lot of fiends. How many? I think there's like 5 griffins still alive, 71 supply. It's a huge lead. The question is, how many banshees can you get for anti-magic shell? Because then pretty much the griffins are useless.
I like third base here coming up by Sock.
Yeah.
If he establishes that, it's fine if he's fighting with the hard-countered army. But good Skeleton Scout here by WZ as well. Sees this right away. WZ now a little bit tentative to move out. Oh, only 4 Acolytes in the main, by the way. That's a little bit of a mistake.
But
if WZ gets to 80 supply, full Banshee Fiend with a couple of upgrades, this army is super strong.
Yeah, but I can
80 supply, perfect army for WFZ. Could be the 100 supply army for Sock, perhaps.
Depends a little on the levels as well, and how effective is this Dreadnought going to be? We've seen Sleep, but is that really so effective? There's no Dispel. Wouldn't the Dark Ranger be better? I'm not too sure if this is the right pick on low levels especially. Here's the next push. It's 80 supply for Sock. Big Griffin army. And is WFZ ready already? I don't think so.
He's fighting with the backup of the tower as well. Oh, smart play here by Sock. If he snipes the Haunted, which he absolutely will, more than enough damage. Tactical, little. Well, not just a little, but a big run by, actually. Doesn't want to take the fight because this is a really bad position. But he killed the Haunted Gold Mine, which is effectively worth 1,000 gold. That's a big deal.
Main gold mines should expire in like 5 minutes, so he forces him to rebuild it, and that gives him time to establish the middle. And there's a limited amount of gold mines here, so Sock will always have extra income.
I think hero levels are also starting to get there. MK's 3 already. 3-1 upgrades on these Griffins. My goodness.
Yeah. I think at this point he's 4-3-3. Sock?
And that would be really, really good for him. I wonder what WZ's upgrades are. I haven't seen it on the Fiends for a long time.
A lot of anti-magic now.
Did WZ get a new TP, by the way? He's gonna need it.
Yeah.
That's of course the nice thing about this Griffin army. It is super easy to play run-bys.
Or the Cloud.
And to snipe the Haunted.
Yep. So
it's like effective. 5 volleys. That's really quick.
And of course, disable against workers, good AoE, boom, second gold mine down. And he can deal with the towers with ease as well.
Yeah, and the answer is no. WZ did not have a TP, and Sock is punishing him really hard for it.
Yes.
Sock didn't have the perfect army against WFZ style by any means, but he outplayed WFZ once again really well. And may want to take a fight here, but if not, it's totally fine to TP out. He once again killed a Haunted.
The damage on the Dreadlord. Yes, he can coil, but there's still an Orb of Fire and a Stormbolt and a kill. Ah! Actually not. Anti-magic saves him for now.
Yeah, but yeah, anti-magic was certainly missing there. Like, normally, when you see a volley flying towards a Fiend, that's when you want to cast the anti-magic. Even if it already has anti-magic. Anti-magic absorbs 300 damage, and that does not consider armor. So Griffins do reduce damage to Fiend because of medium armor, but anti-magic, it's all pure, the calculation there. That's a nice little snipe here by WFZ. Gonna get 2 Griffins for free with the web and the sleep. And those are expensive units. But Sock can afford this. He's on 3 mining bases versus WFZ's 1 mining base. That being said, Sock is down to 61 supply.
But yeah, it's 1 base versus 3. I mean, yeah, supply is pretty equal, but hero levels speak in favor of the human. Economy is speaking in favor of the human. 1 Fiend still in the base, okay. He's not rebuilding the main gold mine. Feels like Xiao Lin fell asleep.
Yeah, that happened yesterday once or twice as well. Yeah, this army at the moment is not in fighting shape for Sock, but it can still do these run-bys very effectively. Easy Acolyte kills. Lost mining time. But Sok needs to be careful not to lose too many of his units. But of course, with the 3 mining bases, he has a big safety net. Might be forced into a TP here. Oh, there we go.
It's just about finishing the job at the moment, I guess. As it was on map 1, but WFZ stays in this. Has hope on Sleep Coil Nova. And he is getting some kills in these trades, but again, mining shut down.
Yeah, that was a crucial move, actually. This little Griffin squad going to the main, canceling the Haunted. If WFZ was to get up to 2 mining bases again, 75 supply, go towards the middle, push it, kill it, and then we're back to 2 base, this could still be winnable. So I guess Sok's #1 priority right now, don't allow the Haunted in the main coming up again. And look for little bits of damage here and there. And affording a TP, he easily can, thanks to those 3 bases. Once again, Sok is playing this really, really well. Questionable strat, questionable army comp, but really good execution.
Yeah, and the Griffins are still here. They didn't town portal away. So, like, this is 1 gold mine, but this is not even mining. Like, he's not mining at all. I wonder how much gold is left in the main and the expo. Should expire, like, at the same time, pretty much. This is so rough. It just constantly needs Coil Nova to snipe units here and there, but Sok's just running away with everything.
At this game, at this point, seems to be a matter of time only, with the Haunted still not coming up in the main. Kind of surprised we don't see more upgrades for the Griffins. I guess Sok doesn't have that much lumber, didn't get a shredder this whole time.
Is he going for a Zeppelin again, or does he want to blow it up with...
I could see some Zappers here.
Yeah. Zeppelin it is.
Okay. All the heroes full mana as well. Gonna be a big drop into the main.
So funny how he forgets to move the camera. So, Cloud again. A couple of webs, but these volleys now. Like, if there's no coil, no anti-magic, he just one-shots everything. Also, how fast he bursts through the anti-magic. It's ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, it looks like WZ doesn't have armor upgrades.
No,
Much damage as he's taking. You really want armor upgrades against this style. But yeah, it seems to be a little bit too far gone at this point.
He never had the resources for it at all. So, level 5 for the Lich. Okay, that helps.
Yeah, that first snipe of the Haunted at the expansion, that what kind of broke the neck.
All of a sudden he kills the hero. It was the Paladin, so no healing anymore, but we're kind of safe. With an invul and staffs. I hope he has a TP.
That would be pretty funny. If he didn't bring a TP and now loses everything. That's the way WFZ comes back in this game.
Mountain King with an invul, coil on the Lich. Yeah, this must be the last decisive fight here. Should be another Stormbolt. Boom. Oh, but there was a nice anti-magic. Again, saving the Dreadlord last second, but will he be able to save the Lich? If not, the game is over. Woo, last second. For the highlight reels, I guess. Staff out, TP out. Cool play by WFZ. Like, of course, this is all over. But he's still fighting, trying his best, and with some cool hero moves.
That one fiend in the middle, by the way, to the right-hand side of the middle expansion, just chilling in the ground for the last 10 minutes. I'm scouting. I'm doing something.
It's nice and cozy there, man. Having some talks with the worms and...
Dude, Fiend must be amazing at building sandcastles. Oh, yeah. How quickly they can burrow into the ground and out of.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was a kid on vacation with my parents at the beach, I loved doing sandcastles. One of the best things ever.
They would have no pulleys that stomped on it.
And little arches and beautiful.
Wow. It's surprising you did not become an architect after this.
In my next life.
Yeah, for sure. I thought you would be the bully, like stomps on sandcastles on the beach.
You always make me out to be such a jerk, Neo. So not true.
Is it
Only
hurting your
when
fingers?
I'm drunk.
I don't know what your mother gave you when you were little.
I told you the story of how once I ate an ashtray, like the contents of an ashtray,
What?
right?
What? No.
I told you. Like my mom used to smoke a lot, still does. And once I was like left alone, unsupervised for like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. And then as a kid, I used to eat everything. And I was apparently thinking, oh, my mom always eats these cigarettes. They must be tasty.
Oh,
So I
shit.
took one of the ashtrays. I was like 3 years old. And I didn't just eat 1 or 2 of the little cigarettes that were left in there, but I ate the whole thing.
What the
And it was a full ashtray.
What? Why didn't you
Yeah.
stop at one point? Like, it's disgusting.
I don't know. I thought maybe it would get better, you know? And,
Oh, yeah.
And then I was brought to the hospital and they pumped out my stomach.
How did you never tell me that? Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
DK, whew, he almost died. That's a lot of griffins. That's 99 supply griffins. That's a lot of magic damage over here.
You do taste things, right? Like, there's people who have no sense for that, but
You do realize I don't exactly remember this, right? I was 3 years old.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, you should have seen me back then, dude. I ate everything. I ate absolutely everything.
What do we
I
learn
was a
from
little
that?
sumo warrior.
Never leave Remo alone. Is it finally the time to tap out of this WFZ? Looks like it. Dreadlord is dead. Everything falls. 100 supply. Oh my god, 2 volleys into the toast. Way too much damage. And the 5th 2-0 in the Huya Super League, with Sok advancing to the quarterfinals.
It looked like Sok had some fun there in that second game.
Yeah.
Looked like he knows how strong he is. Like, he can kind of play whatever he wants. When your opponent's already massing fiends, it normally doesn't make the most sense to go for griffins. But if you play it that well and kind of outplay your opponent, why not?
Yeah, he was having some fun. He loved to bully him around and push him from the upper left to the upper right and then back to the middle. And that was rough for WFZ, who shows again that it's not the WFZ of 2014. Or he is still the WFZ of 2014, but the others stepped everything up.
You know what? That might be truer. I think everyone else just got so much better. WC's kind of like...
Yeah, maybe
Same.
we should reanalyze the WCA games, if they were so legendary or not.
all those beautiful memories.
Sok will meet a Night Elf in the next round. That's either Moon or Elegant. What's our next match? Do we know? I think
Moon
it's...
versus Elegant.
Okay. So we go from bottom to top?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so we will decide Sok's opponent. There should be a break on the Chinese stream. Oh no, it's 1-0 versus TBC apparently, according to...
So yesterday it was only a break between the second and the third match.
Okay.
Don't know if they're gonna stick with that.
We get 1-0 versus TBC. It's already on the Chinese streams. I need a little break though, because my bladder is about to explode. So stay tuned, and then we're back with an Undead Mirror. 1-0 versus TBC. Stay tuned.